civilian woman stands her ground in a Marine Chow Hall, facing a raging sergeant who shoves and humiliates her. Calm, unflinching, she challenges his arrogance, until the battalion leadership arrives, revealing her as General Kaitlyn Hayes. Watch as courage, justice, and humility collide in a moment that changes lives forever. Let's go to the story. You do not belong in this line, sweetheart. The words weren't a question. They were a command, sharp as a blade, delivered with a sneer that twisted the speaker's face into something ugly and small. The shove that followed was precise, meant to dominate, to unbalance, to clear the path. Kaitlyn Hayes stumbled just slightly. Her civilian hiking boots skidded an inch on the polished linoleum of the mess hall floor. She caught herself with a grace born of years of core strength and instinct, hands snapping to the stainless steel railing of the tray line. Her tray remained untouched. She did not flinch. She did not gasp. She merely stabilized, exhaled slowly, and turned her head. Wait, before I continue, answer this in the comments. What would you do in this situation? The man looming over her was a wall of muscle, camouflage pressed to perfection. Sergeant Blake Carlson, likely in his mid-20s, with a razor-fresh high-and-tight haircut, rolled-up sleeves, and an air of overbearing certainty. Two junior corporals flanked him, snickering behind their hands like schoolboys witnessing a fight. "This is a Chow Hall for Marines," Carlson said, his voice carrying, booming over the clatter of silverware and low chatter. He wanted an audience, a spectacle, not a simple act of power but a display of dominance. A woman in a blue running shirt standing her ground. That was a challenge to him, and he would not back down. Kaitlyn looked at him unflinching. Her royal blue moisture-wicking top clung to her athletic frame. Her long blonde hair was pulled into a practical ponytail, yet wisps escaped, framing a face untouched by makeup, flushed only by exertion and unbroken calm. Her eyes were icy, experienced, eyes that had witnessed things Sergeant Carlson couldn't fathom. "Excuse me, Sergeant," Kaitlyn said. Her voice was flat, low, resonant, void of fear. "I am in line for chow. The sign outside says all hands welcome until 1300. It's 12:45. Carlson barked a laugh. Harsh, cruel. Did you just quote a placard to me? He glanced at the junior Marines. They stifled snickers. "Listen, lady, I don't care who you're married to, what rank they hold, or if you're some big-time VIP. This line is for Marines coming off the range. We've been eating dust for 6 hours. You look like you've been eating bonbons. Step aside." He shoved her again, pressing his chest into hers like a battering ram. Kaitlyn planted her feet. She did not budge, like a statue immovable carved from defiance itself. "I suggest you check your bearing, Sergeant," she said, her voice calm but sharp, freezing the moment in ice. "You are making a scene and violating the discipline you claim to embody." "Real viewers only. Comment yes or no. I want to see who's actually paying attention." The quiet defiance struck him harder than any yell could. Silence was a challenge. It demanded confrontation on a deeper level. Carlson leaned in, inches from her face, a sour stench of sweat and gun oil rolling off him. "My bearing is fine," he spat. "My problem is civilians thinking they own this place because they married a uniform. Now move or MPs will escort you out." Nearby Marines froze mid-bite, eyes wide. The tension was palpable, thick enough to choke on. They wanted to look away, but the drama was magnetic. They had seen Carlson's cruelty before, yet now they were witnessing something else. Kaitlyn Hayes standing perfectly still, calm, unafraid. Carlson grabbed a tray from the stack, snapping it toward her chest. "Go to the commissary. This is a place for warriors." The word slammed into Kaitlyn like a physical blow. Warriors, not just a title. A burden, a responsibility. Memories surged unbidden. Sun-bleached courtyards in Afghanistan, dust stinging her eyes, the whistle of incoming mortars, the corporal frozen under fire while her team fought to survive. She had called medevac, returned fire, and held the men together with nothing but her voice, calm and precise. Now the fluorescent lights of the mess hall returned. She looked at the tray, the man, and spoke, voice dropping an octave into commanding timbre. "I'm going to get my lunch," she said, "and you are going to step aside. Touch me again, Sergeant, and the consequences will be severe." Carlson blinked. Her tone was authority incarnate, like the echo of a battalion commander. He stepped closer. "You threatening a non-commissioned officer of the United States Marine Corps." "I am promising you, Sergeant, there is a difference." Across the room, Lance Corporal Mason Rivera froze mid-bite, recognizing the woman instantly. He had seen her in the induction briefing, Colonel Kaitlyn Hayes, soon-to-be Deputy Commanding General. His hands shook. Holy smoke, he whispered to Private First Class Sam Willis. That's her, that's her. Carlson's arrogance blinded him to the reality unfolding. He barked at his corporals, escort this civilian out, detain her if she resists. The junior corporal hesitated. Sergeant, maybe we should just let her. I gave a direct order, Carlson snapped. Kaitlyn's voice softened slightly, maternal yet razor-sharp. Do not touch me, corporal, you are following an unlawful order. Stand down. The corporal froze. Carlson scoffed. I decide what's lawful in my sector. He grabbed her arm, a grip meant to bruise. Instinctively, Kaitlyn rotated her arm in a precise lock, leveraging his grip against his thumb. Carlson yelped, stumbling back. You assaulted me, he yelled, face reddening. You initiated contact, I neutralized it, Kaitlyn corrected, smoothing her sleeve. Stop talking, you are digging a hole you cannot climb out of. The doors burst open, not just one but all entrances. The battalion leadership stormed in, a lieutenant colonel, a massive sergeant major, 3 officers and a master gunnery sergeant. They marched as a wave, green and khaki, cutting through the room. Carlson turned, smug at first, thinking the wrath was directed at him. The lieutenant colonel stopped 3 feet from Kaitlyn, snapped a perfect salute. Good afternoon, General Hayes, he said. The sergeant major saluted, the room holding its breath. Marine stood, instinctively snapping to attention. Kaitlyn returned the salute, casual yet perfect, 20 years of muscle memory shining through. I wasn't conducting an inspection, Colonel, she said, voice carrying. I was attempting to get lunch after a 10-mile ruck on the perimeter trail, but apparently my presence offended some NCOs. Her eyes locked on Carlson, whose face had drained of colour. Sergeant Carlson, she said slowly. You called this mess hall a place for warriors. What did you teach them today? Honour, courage, or that the strong prey on the weak? Carlson looked down, shame radiated in waves. Look at me, Kaitlyn ordered. He obeyed. I was a captain in Sangin once. We had a corporal like you. He bullied locals, tormented juniors. When ambushed, he froze. My team saved him despite his arrogance. You wear the same uniform, Carlson. Do not tarnish it with your ego. A uniform does not make a warrior, character does. The room was silent, everyone holding on to every word. Sergeant Major, Kaitlyn said, turning, please ensure Carlson receives remedial training on core values. He has energy to burn. Perhaps the mess duty crew could use it. Carlson practically sprinted away to scrub pots, exhausted, humiliated, but alive to a lesson that would define his future leadership. Weeks later, Kaitlyn returned in uniform, stars gleaming. Carlson, now serving in the scullery, straightened. Good afternoon, Sergeant Carlson, she said. Good afternoon, General Hayes, he replied, voice steady, respectful. The best leaders serve first. If you cannot serve the men, you cannot lead them. Do you understand? Yes, ma'am, truly. She placed a battered unit coin on the serving line. Touch this when your ego flares. Remember scrubbing these pots. Remember humility. Carlson looked at the coin, thumb tracing the rough metal, feeling gratitude instead of fear. For the first time he understood, strength without character is meaningless. Kaitlyn moved down the line, selecting her salad, smiling at Lance Corporal Rivera. I like initiative, she said softly, taking her place among the troops. Leadership lived in the small moments, and today it had been earned. Wait. Right now in the comments. One word. What did this story just make you feel? GOs. I'm reading every single one. 1 second pause. Type ghost if you got chills. Type respect if you're standing a little taller today. Do it now. Let's flood this comment section with American pride. Your turn. Comment fast.